Welcome back to GAA Fan TV. Kilmacud Crokes have won back-to-back Dublin Senior Football Championships. They have beaten the Fianna by a scoreline of 11 points to 10. I was at the game. I was planning on doing a match reaction after the game, but I'm sure as people are well aware, the weather is, it's awfully atrocious out there, isn't it? It's very, very bad indeed. So got back to the house, put on the heating, and, well, here we are to discuss the game. And look, I mean, once again, I think the big story here, much like it has been for Kilmacud Crokes, really in the entirety nearly of the championship, is that going down the home stretch, like I thought Na Fianna had them at different points, and when they were playing Coola a couple of weeks ago, I thought Coola had them, but again, Kilmacud Crokes showing their steel, showing their resolve, going down the home stretch, and just about having enough. There was times in that game where it looked like Na Fianna maybe had a bit of a foothold in the game, maybe had a bit of an edge, but along would come, Darren Mullen, who I thought, was very impressive. He finished with 2 points. Craig Diaz, again, in and around midfield, absolutely brilliant for Kilmacud Crokes. He scored a big point towards the end of the game as well. And obviously it was very tough conditions. It was very stop-start. It was a game that probably never really well and truly got going. There wasn't really any significant goal chances. Shane Walsh, whilst he finished with 4 points, I don't think had his best game overall. Like he did pick up a big injury, to be fair. He goes off just before half time and then comes back on with a bit of a bandage over his head. So clearly, obviously, a bit of an injury there. And there were a couple of times where he missed a couple of chances and probably didn't show the vintage Shane Walsh that we're used to. But then again, he still did enough. Like he hit a couple of, decisive late points. He scored, the last 2 points for Kilmacud Crokes in the game, which in the end proved to be the winner, both of which were from play as well. So, it wasn't perfect, but then again, it didn't need to be. And, what a talent he will be for this Kilmacud Crokes side. Make no mistake about that. But, Diaz, I thought, was very good. Rory O'Carroll had a very, very good game again. Ben Shovelin in midfield was impressive. And, for Na Fianna, you felt bad for them. Even at the end there was a big goal-mouth scramble. And I think Brian O'Leary was the man in the end who ends up putting the ball over the bar. But, you've seen them go in sometimes with a bit of luck, maybe a deflection. The ball, might end up in the back of the net. And you were sort of looking at it and thinking, geez, Na Fianna were very, very close indeed to potentially, pulling off a dramatic late winner with the goal. But Crokes in the end do enough. They slowed the game down when they needed to. Again, from that kick out in the second half, there was times where they just squeezed up on the Na Fianna kickouts and turned them over time and time again. And Na Fianna really struggled to get hands on possession, to get the ball into their shooters. I think another point probably worth mentioning as well, and I think it was probably very visible on the TV and probably for a lot of people around the country with the conditions, with the end that Na Fianna were attacking in the first half, that was very much with the breeze, and obviously the same applied for Kilmacud Crokes in the second half. So, like for Na Fianna, there was times in that second half where they got a couple of opportunities, maybe where you could shoot or you could take the chance on, a couple of 45s and frees, but a lot of the time they went wide or they worked them short. And with the conditions, it probably did play a part in the end for Kilmacud Crokes going down the home stretch. But for Na Fianna, it's harsh. I wanted them to win. As a North Dublin man, but you have to take your hat off to Kilmacud Crokes in the end. They done what they did best, and you know, like it's going into Croke Park potentially in the Leinster Championship, or depending on where they play a lot of the games, it will suit Crokes. It will suit the likes of Walsh, suit the likes of Craig Diaz, Darren Mullen as well. You know, and I think they're going to be a formidable force, and I think it's going to be very, very hard to see who stops them going into the going into that Leinster Club Championship and possibly beyond that. Sean says here, Fianna threw it away in injury time with a few wides and not hitting the ball into the square. No one inside. Yeah, like there was a few wides. I remember David O'Hanlon, the goalkeeper, obviously from a 45, that went wide. Couple of other opportunities as well. Like it was very tough conditions, but they probably could have been better in possession, you know, and even at the end of the game as well. Like obviously they win that free for the ball to be looped in, but and the ball goes over the bar. But even following on from that, like they had a half chance there where maybe they could have worked something, you know. But look, Kilmacud Crokes have done it again, and you have to commend them, you know, for getting over the line and winning back-to-back titles. And you know, they're a very well-oiled team. They know each other inside and out, physically brilliant, and you know, I thought Diaz was very, very good in around midfield, and again in those closing moments, coming up with big scores, and Shane Walsh as well. To be fair, from an Fianna point of view, it's a tough one. Like it's their first final since 2005. They haven't won a county title since 2001. You know, I think that's 5 defeats on the spin now against Kilmacud Crokes in the championship, you know, going back as far back as the early 2000s. But they did do a lot right, and they do have a lot of very good players like Conor McHugh. I was impressed with him. Hit a couple of good points. Owen Merchant, who looked to be picking up Shane Walsh from the looks of it. I thought he, you know, done a fairly good job up until probably the latter stages of the second half. Kicked a good point himself at different times. They've got the makings of a very, very good team, and you know, this maybe could be Kilmacud Crokes' toughest test, possibly to an All-Ireland semi-final or beyond that. You know, I think Naas will give them a good run and give them a good test in the first round of the Leinster Championship. But you know, at the same time, the Fianna looked like they were very, very close there, and certainly have plenty of talent. Like you'd be looking at Conor McHugh to surely get another crack at the Dublin team, in my opinion, or you know, at least making a bit of an impact coming off the bench. But we'll obviously have to wait and see. But we'll go ahead and wrap this up here. Cheers anyone who tuned in. There will be a live show later with John McMahon of the JMac podcast. We'll be dissecting and breaking down all the week's club action. Certainly a lot to discuss, a lot to break down. And yeah, we will be breaking down a lot of the club action, discussing them in more detail. So yeah, make sure you get over there. Be live at 9 p.m. And yeah, I did do a match day vlog as well at this game, so that'll be out in a couple of days as well. So yeah, cheers anyone who tuned in, and I'll see you all there.